Now, in terms of consciousness, I have to say, the idea that there's sort of something magic that goes beyond physics that leads to sort of conscious behavior, I kind of think that LLMs kind of put the final nail in that coffin. Because I kind of think that, there were all these things where it's like, oh, maybe it can't do this, but actually it does, and it's just an artificial neural net. I think also with respect to, a lot of the importance, I think our notion of consciousness is a lot related to the fact that we believe in the single thread of experience that we have. It's not obvious that we should have a persistent thread of experience. In our models of physics, we're made of different atoms of space at every successive moment of time. So the fact that we have this belief that we are somehow persistent, we have this thread of experience that extends through time, is not obvious. It's something that just happens to be the case. And I think, well, I was recently thinking about the following question, which is, our brains have maybe 100 billion neurons in them. And one of the things that's notable is that all those 100 billion neurons could be doing different things, but yet we concentrate things down to have a single thread of experience. But then I was wondering, if we had 100 trillion neurons, what qualitatively different things would we think about the world? At 100 billion neurons, we can do things like invent compositional language. Cats and dogs don't do that, so far as we know. And what would we get to if we had sort of higher levels of higher brain power, so to speak? And I got to thinking about this thing that we do of taking all the sensory data that we have and concentrating it down to decide very slowly what the next action we should take is. How did that, which I think is a key feature of our version of consciousness, how did that even come to be? And I kind of realized that probably when animals first existed in sort of the history of life on Earth, that's when we started needing brains. If you're a thing that doesn't have to move around, the different parts of you can be doing different kinds of things. If you're an animal, then one thing you have to do is decide, are you going to go left or are you going to go right? There's sort of, there's a single decision you have to make. And I kind of think it's a little disappointing to feel that this whole vaunted thing that ends up being what we think of as consciousness might have originated in just that very simple need to decide if you are an animal that can move. You take all that sensory input and you have to decide, make a definitive decision about, do you go this way or that way?